Dun, da, 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 da. Well, well. Did you know? Did you know? I don't believe you did. Did you know that we have a transgender congresswoman working for our government? I didn't know this. True story. I did not know. Did you know that, babe? We have a transgender congresswoman. Ah. And the wife responded exactly how she should have. Well, it's not a woman then. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point. It sure is. Well, she thinks she's a woman. Let's put it that way.
Well, then obviously he doesn't have brains to be a political figure.
Damn, the wife's kicking ass and taking names tonight. Well, then obviously she doesn't have the brains to be a political figure, she says. Ooh. Lord in heaven, please don't let any transgender people come across my live stream right now. There's a good chance that my house could get BOMB. If you can figure out what that means. So, wondering if I should share this. No, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it because I would like you guys to be able to see what this transgender congresswoman looks like. Why do I keep calling her a woman? That goes against everything I believe. It is a he. It's technically a transgender congressman dressed like a woman. Oh, I'm going to show you guys. Because he is not attractive as a he or a her. This is just going to sound like I'm just completely throwing salt at just anyone coming from the LGBT community. And that's just, it's kind of messed up because it's not really my style. But this is a person who is representing our Congress and our government. And I'm not a big fan of a transgender person representing our government in Congress. I'm just not. Let me be honest. Can I be honest? Of course I can, because this is my channel. And if you don't like my honesty, you're welcome to move it on down the line to the next guy who's going to lie to you and say that it's completely okay with them. It's a little after 6 in the evening. I may not even have anyone jump on this live chat, so I'm just going to roll with it, to be honest. I'm trying to build up, trying to build up my live streams a little bit, but I'm kind of caught in between this spot with my channel where, the first year or two that I had this channel, I was talking about kratom use and, which for those of you who don't know is something that is legal in a lot of states, but it's something that is similar, has a similar sort of effect of like an opiate sort of. And, a person who in the past has struggled with addiction, was taking this for a little while and I talked about it quite a lot, and had quite a lot of folks, obviously are interested in the topic because, like I said, it's federally legal and a lot of people take it. So that's how I gained my first little bit of my following. But I stopped taking it. So since I stopped taking it, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be some ambassador for kratom or someone who just sits and talks about kratom and only kratom on my channel all the time, because I have a lot of other stuff that I have opinions on, right? I'm a very opinionated sort of person, and so I like to talk about different things, and that could be anything from popular news all the way up to something that makes me laugh. I have squirrels that live behind my house that I feed out of my hand. I've recently been doing voiceovers with the squirrel videos. I do all kinds of stuff. I just like living life and living it to the fullest. And if it makes me laugh, I'll probably do a video about it. If it makes me cry and it's sad, I may do a video about it. If it's something that's interesting to me, I may do a video about it. James, what's going on, brother? So, James, did you know, my friend, that we have a transgender congresswoman working for our United States Congress? Did you know that, James? I did not know that, James. I didn't. I probably should have known, but I didn't. Anyway, what I was saying was my channel was in that sort of transitional period for any of my new followers where I still talk about kratom because it's something that definitely got this channel off the ground, and I still have quite a few people that are interested in the topic, whether they're still taking it or not taking it. But I'm also expanding, guys. I'm spreading my wings, my proverbial wings, right? Like that. To to talk about other things, because I do have other things to talk about. And I've always wanted to be entrepreneur, entertainer, creator, that sort of thing. Former musician. I mean, you can see this keyboard behind me here. Can't say former musician. I'm still a musician, but I don't do it professionally anymore. All right, let me stop yapping, because if someone runs across this at some point, they're probably going to want to hear me actually get to the point of what I originally wanted to talk about. So let me share this with you. Share that. Okay. This is what he looks like. Corey, what do you mean he? That's clearly a woman. No, it's not. This is a transgender man. Well, Corey, how do you know? Maybe he has had a full reassignment or gender reassignment surgery and is now a woman. No, he is still a man. You can take a person who was born a man, and make them a vagina, and they're still a man, as far as I'm concerned. It's the way I feel about it. God made them what they made them. Now, there are certain rare cases where someone will be born with both sets of genitals. I think being born with the reproductive faculties I don't think that happens. Or if so, it's much more rare. But that is more like a birth defect. Okay, that's not something that is common, and that is something that I'm sure 100% of the people who are born with both do not like that they were born with both and would like to have one or the other, whichever that is they prefer, you know. And that's probably the only case where I would say, yeah, let the person choose. Because if you have a very, very, very rare defect where you were born with both sex organs, then you should have a right to choose whichever one that you identify most with. That's really the only scenario where I feel that way, if I'm being honest. And that's fair. That's fair. If that's the hand that you were dealt, and you were actually born with both sex organs, which is extremely rare. Extremely. Okay. It's not really even an argument that transgender or the LGBT community can really make, to be honest, because it's so rare. And usually, when that does happen, this person is not considered a lesbian or anything else. Hi.
Hi. I'm getting very mad listening to you.
Oh. James said hi, River. River.
River is eating a
He's
snack
eating.
right now.
That's James.
Hi, James.
James is my biggest supporter that I was telling you about. James is amazing.
I just have to say, it makes me furious having River as a female, a biological female.
Mhm.
I don't care what kind of surgery you have. You cannot replace your penis with a makeshift vagina
Mhm.
and have a baby. You
Fair
are
point.
still a man, despite your surgery and what you want to identify as. So in my mind, you'll never be a female. You will never have a period. You'll never understand it. Like, if you want to be that way, you can be a cross-dresser and be a female.
And some
as
do.
you say.
And some do. Yeah.
My biggest thing is don't shove it down my throat.
No pun intended.
Like, don't shove it. I understand your emotions, your feelings, but don't make me have to call you a woman because you're not, despite your surgery.
That's valid points. Oh, don't worry. James is actually a man, and he doesn't claim to be anything else.
We're good.
He's not talking to you,
It fires
James.
me up so
Promise.
bad. Like, I want to be a female, so I'm gonna go have surgery, and I'm gonna have my long fingernails. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh.
Does not make them.
If they want to do it in their
A
own
woman.
time, fine.
And
if they
clearly
want to
the
go out in public,
jawline. Just look at where my mouse is.
she's got an Adam's apple.
Look at this jawline.
It's a major Adam's apple.
No matter how much estrogen you can take.
But clearly,
Yes, gender is a social construct, apparently.
Thank you.
Who knew, man? Who knew?
Like, it hurts my brain.
Yeah.
From someone being told I couldn't have children, and then having children, having a child, and going through that experience and everything. God made you who you are. Why are you not happy? You have a mental issue. There's things deep down within your system that you are not happy with if you're not okay being what God made you. And then you should seek help for that. Not go and have a surgery that's going to alter you. And then 20 years later down the road think, I shouldn't have done this.
That's true.
You know what?
I imagine a lot of them do regret it later.
I think I was following a trend. I jumped on the bandwagon because it was being shoved down my throat.
Well, especially for the young kids. The fact that they're allowing children of a certain age to make these sort of changes in their lives, that part is really bothersome. Giving puberty blockers and all this other crap to young kids who aren't even 18 and can't even make their own decisions. Either way, we're kind of going off on a tangent, as I tend to do. That's all good. So the title of this is Trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride.
I was going to say one more thing. While we're talking about it, I have
While
to say.
While you're talking about it, go right ahead.
No, I have to say this.
Yeah.
While we're talking about it, this is a huge problem. Like, they are forcing this into children's television shows.
Mm-hmm.
River is not allowed to watch Cocomelon Lane because on Cocomelon Lane, there's two fathers as parents, and the son wants to dance in the tiara and a tutu. My son is 18 months old, and that's his favorite show. And I am not going to allow him to watch it, so he gets confused.
Well, indoctrination is exactly what it is. Well, let's address what James says here. And he makes a very good point. He says, however, I do know a few whom are extremely nice. And listen, that is absolutely notable in this conversation because I agree with that. And, by example, well, when you say you know a few, I guess I'm assuming you're referring to transgender. Is that right? Or homosexual or both? I mean, I don't know right offhand personally any transgenders, but I do know, a few gay guys, and they come to some of the same parties that we do from time to time. Now, listen, my wife and I very, very rarely have time to go to a party. Don't get me wrong. We're, very busy people. We have an 18-month-old at home, so parties just aren't our thing these days. But we have a good friend who's a good friend of the family. He's a homosexual, and he has been that way for as long as I can remember. And I love that guy. He's a great guy. And when I see him, he gets a big fat hug from me, just like any of my straight friends or any woman would. And, there's no judgment in the sense that I would ever treat him any differently. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I feel the same way about transgender people. This is my personal platform where I, give my personal opinion and thoughts on things that often are a private sort of personal subject matter that's really personal to people. But given the situation or being put in the situation where I was around a transgender individual, I know for a fact that I'm not saying I wouldn't think, you can't always control your thoughts. I'm not saying I wouldn't think this, that, or the third, but I definitely would try my best to not treat that person any different, and certainly with any less respect than I would anybody else that I was speaking to. Okay, I want to be clear about that. I have much better home training than that. And what's further is if I see that as a flaw or a mistake in a person, I've struggled with drug addiction. So that is a flaw. That's an imperfection in me. So I have no right to judge other people's imperfections or way of life, any more than they have a right to judge me for some of the things I do. And I do really feel that way. But it goes back to James's next comment, which is indoctrination. The indoctrination, to me, is when it becomes a big issue. Do what you feel like doing behind closed doors. If I want to be a drug addict behind closed doors, it's my business. If you want to be a transgender man or woman or whatever it is behind closed doors, please do. That is perfectly fine. I will not judge you for it, and I certainly won't judge you for it in front of other people. I ain't gonna judge you behind closed doors. I'm not gonna sit here and say I won't be like that transgender, once I leave. But I would never disrespect anybody in front of anybody else because I just have better home training than that. But it's the indoctrination of it. It's putting it in Coco Melon. It's making sure that you have that token gay couple in a kids show, or the gay couple in a Disney movie, or the gay couple in every other commercial that's talking about some prescription medication, when our children are sitting and watching these things. And, and then we can sit and say, people are going to sit and say, hey, well, but this is the way it is. There are people out there that actually feel this way and that are, struggling with whether they want to live as a man or a woman. This is a real thing. And so you can't, it's not something you can just brush it up under the rug. But the problem is they're treating it, when they put it in commercials and when they put it in movies and they put it in kid shows, you are in effect desensitizing or attempting to desensitize the public to it, and basically in effect are saying this is okay. Okay. But I don't believe that it is okay. I believe that it's a flaw. I believe that it's a mental illness. I believe that it is a person's way of escaping who they really are, and they're not happy with who they really are. So they need to fill this void in their lives by becoming someone else. Now, does this come from a place of judgment? And I think they're going to HE double hockey sticks and I'm not? No, because I have my own flaws. I have my own sins, as it were. We're all there, but it's one of those things where let's don't act like it's okay by putting it in every other commercial. Let's don't act like it's okay by shoving it down the throats of our young children by putting it in kids shows. That's where it's exactly what James said. The indoctrination part. That's where it all goes south for me. Okay. Do what you want to do behind closed doors, but don't force the American public and private citizens to accept it by sending it all over the airwaves, shouting it from all of the mountaintops that you can, putting it in all of the biggest commercials, putting it, and letting it infiltrate our media from all of the biggest avenues that it's possible. That is the part where that purposely gets done. And it's for the sole purpose of trying to desensitize people who are against it into accepting it. Okay? And it's one of those things. I'll never accept it. Does that mean I'm going to disrespect someone who is transgender or someone who is homosexual? No. I'll express my opinion on how I feel about it and how I feel about the whole indoctrination and things like that. But I will never disrespect that person any more than, I would disrespect a murderer. If I had a conversation, listen, we can all agree murder is wrong, right? But if I had a conversation with somebody who I knew once had murdered someone, I gotta be honest. I'm not going to treat them any different than I would anybody else. I might be a little bit nicer because I don't want them to murder me. But as far as that person and who they are, what they've done, I would not treat them any different based on things of their past and based on things that they've done in their past, because that's their past. That's between them and their personal, their lives. That's between them and their God, if they believe in that, their deity, their family. That's not for me to pass judgment on that. Rest in peace, Lakin. Who's Lakin? You have to expand on that, James. Expand on that one. Anyway, I'm going to start reading this so I don't just ramble for the next hour. Lakin Riley. Okay, now hold on a second now. Now, you got me wanting to look up who Laken Riley is. Let's look. Laken Riley. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Laken Riley. On February 22nd, 2024, Laken Riley. I have heard of this. Okay. I wasn't familiar with the name, but I have heard of this case. A 22-year-old Augusta University nursing student was killed while she was jogging at the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia. Her body was found in Oconee Forest near Herrick. Her death was caused by blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. Yeah, but what was the... How does this relate? Was she transgender? The illegal who killed our beloved Laken Riley was just found guilty on all counts for his horrific crimes. Although the pain and the heartbreak will last forever, hopefully this can help bring some peace and closure to the wonderful family. Oh, let me go back here and see if we say anything about it. Illegal alien. I got you. Okay. All right. Life without parole. Hell yeah, I'm all over it. Yeah. Yeah. So, thank God who became president. Clean up the whole border situation. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a good example of why it's important to control the border. A person who's not even here legally ends up murdering a young college nursing student. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. All right, let me on this. So, trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride responds to Capitol Hill bathroom ban. Okay. Following statement from Mike Johnson, McBride says, "I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to bring down cost facing families." So let's expand on this. Sarah McBride, the incoming Congresswoman and first openly transgender person elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, on Wednesday shared a statement on social media in response to the House banning trans people from using single-sex bathrooms on Capitol Hill that match their gender identity. You notice it says it matches their gender identity, not what their actual birth gender is. Just saying, because there's a difference in most cases. I mean, if you're born a woman and you identify as a woman, then in that case, there's no difference. But, most transgender people are identifying as the opposite of what they were born as, right? Earlier in the day, the House Speaker, Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson, issued a statement regarding facilities throughout the U.S. Capitol complex. Johnson said, "All single-sex facilities in the Capitol and House office buildings, such as restrooms, changing rooms, and locker rooms, are reserved for individuals of that biological sex." He added, "It is important to note that each member office has its own private restroom, and unisex restrooms are available throughout the Capitol. Women deserve only women's spaces." Yeah, for sure. They need that privacy. McBride is due to be sworn in January to represent Delaware after handily winning the seat in the election earlier this month, having been the first openly trans person elected to the state Senate seat there in 2020. I I said I wasn't going to disrespect trans people, so I won't. She had initially, if that's what this person would like to be called, if that's the pronoun they would prefer, no problem. She had initially pushed back over proposed restrictions by saying the argument was a far right driven distraction from issues such as housing, healthcare, and childcare. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. You know, she's saying, I don't give a shit about bathrooms. You know, I just want to have a place where I can go to the bathroom. It doesn't have to be a woman's bathroom specifically, you know, and I respect that. She's not getting caught in the weeds with these little things that don't even matter. You know, they're trying to, the far left is trying to make it about something that it should not be about. You know, bathrooms, really? That's all you got? There's unisex bathrooms in there where anybody can go to, you know? So, with that said, and a lot of facilities are that way, a transgender person should not have a problem with respecting other people's right to privacy when it comes to going in the bathroom that aligns with their birth gender, sex, right? Sex. I don't see why they would. But on Wednesday, after Johnson's announcement, McBride responded with a post on X. I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to fight for Delawareans and to bring down costs facing families. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them. Even if I disagree with, I wonder if she disagrees with the bathroom ban. Does make you wonder. Because if she does, then I just lost what little tiny amount of respect I did have for her. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them. Serving in the 119th Congress will be the honor of my lifetime, and I continue to look forward to getting to know my future colleagues on both sides of the aisle. No pun intended. On Monday, Nancy Mace, the South Carolina Republican representative, had introduced a bill to ban transgender people, including congressional members, officers, and employees, from using single-sex bathrooms and other facilities on Capitol Hill that correspond to their gender identity. Mace told reporters that McBride does not belong in women's spaces, women's bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, period, full stop, and called her a biological man. Ooh, ouch. Nancy Mace is raw. Damn. Okay. Who is Nancy Mace? She's a Congress. I think she's a Congress. Okay. South Carolina Republican representative, Nancy Mace. I mean, you know, telling it like it is. And called her a biological man, insisting that McBride doesn't get a say, CNN reported. Mace's bill comes as Republicans have attacked transgender people as part of a broader political culture war strategy, limiting what bathrooms they can use and the youth sports teams they can play on. Well, I agree with Mace. Sorry. That's a whole nother topic. Come on, James. Come on, James. Should men who identify as women be playing on women's sports teams?
Hell no.
I mean, let's get real.
No.
Trixie says they don't want the ambiguous bathroom. They
Men
want
are
one or the other.
stronger.
Yeah.
Genetically
It seems that
stronger.
way, and that's unfortunate.
They should not play it in women's sports. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
It makes me so angry.
I know. I think everyone agrees with that. Maybe not, I hear what you're saying, Trixie. I don't know if, maybe not all of them. Maybe not all. But it seems like many at least do get kind of down in the weeds with that stuff, and they do care about stuff like that. I don't know. It's so hard to. It's really hard to say. All right, let's look back over here. Makes me from bathrooms, transgender people using the bathroom to correspond to their gender identity, according to the Human Rights Campaign and LGBTQ plus rights group. Okay, so it says here 14 states currently have laws that prohibit transgender people from using the bathroom that corresponds with their gender identity, according to the Human Rights Campaign and LGBTQ plus rights groups. Okay, so 14 out of the 50 states have laws that say transgender people cannot go into the bathroom that they identify with as far as gender. They have to go into a bathroom that aligns with what their biological sex is. All right. Donald Trump leaned into such politics vigorously during the presidential election campaign. This article was amended on November the 20th, 2024, to remove a reference in the subheading and main text to a Blue Sky post that had been attributed to Sarah McBride. A representative for McBride later said the account is not affiliated with the congresswoman elect. Okay.
Not to mention,
Go ahead.
Not to mention, if a male that wants to identify as a female plays a female sport, then they are entitled to the locker rooms with other females, and it makes other females feel uncomfortable. And it also sets up it sets it up to where people could come in there and say, "Oh, I'm a man pretending to be a woman, playing in women's sports," but they're a rapist or they want to objectify women.
Could be.
There's so many things.
Different scenarios that. Well, let's see what Trixie said. Trixie is a woman. She says, "I think the more interesting conversation would be there is a small percentage of people in the world born with both." Well, actually, it's funny you said that because James, did I not actually talk about that a few minutes ago? I was actually discussing that very thing as a person who's a hermaphrodite. I think, man, let me look real quick. Hold on a second. Stop sharing that. Let's go here. But here's the thing, Trixie, about that. Person born with both sets of genitals. Okay. The number of births with ambiguous genitals is in the range of 1 to 4. Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if we can figure this shit out. Because that doesn't make any sense to me. Number of births with ambiguous genitals is in the range of 1 to 4, 500, 1, 2,000. What the fuck? Okay, so 0.02%. So not even close to 1%. Other conditions involve the development of atypical chromosomes, gonads, and hormones. So that is an interesting conversation, but it's like I was saying before, that's something that in the past, certain LGBT community has tried to kind of lean into that or lean on that as an argument, but that's not an argument. That's actually a defect. Okay. That's actually a defect. And most people that are born with both sets of genitals do not want that. And they want to be one or the other. And in that case, they should absolutely have a right to choose whatever they feel more of. Now that is one case where I say, however they feel inside, let them go with it because they have both. but still, even then, a lot of times there will be representations of both genitals, but one is not fully developed, or it's very rare that someone is born with a fully developed set of both. And then even if they are, like by example, they may have a vagina and a penis, but they don't have the innards, the female, the uterus and all that stuff's not formed. So what are they, right? What do you call that person? And so that's that. You're right. That's a good argument. But the amount of people, the common is intersex. The number comes out to 1 in every 1,500 to 1 in every 2,000 births. But a lot more people than that were born with subtler forms of sex anatomy variations. 100. Intersex. Hold on now. Hold on. What's this intersex? Intersex meaning? We're learning stuff this evening. It's different than a hermaphrodite. I think a hermaphrodite is a person who hermaphrodite versus intersex. Okay, this is what we need. All right. The term hermaphrodite is outdated and misleading, while intersex is a more accurate term that reflects modern scientific understanding. Hermaphrodite, a term that describes an organism that can produce both male and female gametes. God, it's been a while since I've been in biology. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. However, the term is mythological and implies that a person is both fully male and fully female, which is physiologically impossible. Okay, so there's that. It's like we were talking about. They may have a penis and a vagina, but a lot of times, they don't have, but they never have a penis and a vagina and testicles and a uterus and a fallopian tubes and the eggs. They never have all of that. You see what I'm saying? There's always like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I know that's a horrible way. A little bit of this and a little bit of that is a horrible way to describe somebody's sex. But and then intersex, a term that describes people with genitals, chromosomes, or reproductive organs that don't fit into a male or female sex binary. Intersex traits can be evident at birth, childhood, later in adulthood, or never. Term hermaphrodite is stigmatizing and misleading, and there is growing momentum to eliminate it from medical literature. Some medical personnel still use the term because they subscribe to an outdated nomenclature. Intersex people may have a unique set of needs and priorities. Some people with intersex conditions identify as a man or a woman, while others identify as transgender. Symptoms of intersex conditions include delayed or absent puberty, unexpected changes at puberty, infertility, and variations in testicles or ovary. The cause of intersex conditions may remain undetermined, even with modern diagnostic techniques. So let's see how many people are born. How many are born intersex? I bet it's got to be a pretty small amount. Experts estimate that up to 1.7% of the population are born with intersex traits. But that could be mild. That could be mild. That could be a woman who's like fully woman, but maybe she's, maybe her jawline's a little more like a man, or maybe she's a woman, but she's a little hairier than most women. It could be a man who's absolutely 100% a man, but has a lot more feminine characteristics, or he's more hippie, has more hips and, or has, slight, what do you call it when men have the little breast? Damn it, there's a term for that. Anyway. Oh man, people are on this shit. Y'all are on this shit. James, thank you, brother. You're the man, dude. Intersex, small. Yeah. No, you're right, Trixie. It's ambiguous is a huge number. Wow, why is that? Question to that woman. World was what bathroom and sports team for them? Oh, that woman. You talking about my wife, Trixie? Hold on. Sorry, I've been on the other page and I couldn't see these. I couldn't see your comment, so I'm trying to catch up here. They don't want big. All right, so I'm going to start with your second one, your second comment, and then we'll keep going down from there. I think more interesting conversations would be there is a small percentage of people in the world. Hi, buddy. Small percentage of people in the world born with both male and female parts. What bathroom and sports team for them? Yeah.
Well, that's different.
Well, it is different. It's absolutely different. I mean, I think for lack of a better way of saying it, and this is definitely a play on words, ultimately they have to choose a team, right? Which team are you going to be on? You're going to be on the women's, or you're going to be on the men's? And I mean that in sports terms, but I also mean it in the most literal sense. Are you going to live as a man or live as a woman? Or and the problem with that is you can't say, well, make their own team. That maybe they have a league just simply for people who were born with both parts and this and that. But there's so much variance there too, because some people might be more manly than others who were born with both. There's some that may just barely be manly and be more womanly. There's all this different variance there, which I think would make things convoluted if you tried to make like their own just team, their own sports league or whatever. Just a guy, please read my question to that woman. Are you talking about my wife, I guess? That number recently exploded. Ambiguous is a huge number, but both is small percentage. Yeah. Intersex, having both, I think. It is having both, but they can also be like a little, one can be, less formed than the other or malformed, or, it can be, what's the word for malformation? There can be a malformation there in one of the sex organs or one of the genitals, and one is like a fully formed normal. So, we're getting down into the weeds with it, but Trixie, in San Francisco, we have Hetchy fresh water, but I think many cities have recycled water. Hetchy. What is Hetchy fresh water? Hold on a minute now. Hetchy controversy. What? Okay, let's look at this now. The Hetchy controversy was a multi-year debate over whether to build a dam in the Hetchy Valley of Yosemite National Park to provide water to San Francisco. Background: the debate took place from 1908 to 1913. The valley was protected by the federal government, so Congress had to decide its fate. The debate pitted conservationists against preservationists. Conservationists believed in using natural resources for the greatest good, for the greatest number, for the longest time. San Francisco citizens argued that the reservoir was necessary for the health of their city. Preservationists believe that nature should be protected. saved from human interference and enjoyed for its beauty. John Muir and Sierra Club led the preservationist movement. So let's see what you got here. Sketchy. Hetchy. Not sketchy. Hetchy. Hetchy seems sketchy though. I'm not gonna lie. All right, I guess that's it. I just wanted to. I think I had heard that we officially have a transgender congresswoman. I think I have heard that, uh, but it was my first time really looking into it. So in San Francisco, we have fresh water, but many have recycled. So you live in San Francisco. James, did you ever answer me? Where are you from? You got to be from California somewhere. I mean, your YouTube name, New Hampshire. Oh, you're from New Hampshire. Okay. I saw Floss Cow being your YouTube name. Are you from California? Have you once lived in California? Where's the Floss Cow come from? That was really my question. I figured it had to do with something California. Old school name from kids. Got it. Got it. Floss Cow. I like it though. Yeah. Do you guys see? And Calabria is my last name. Yeah. Well, see here, it it just shows your whole name. Did you change that, or is that so? Cal, not California. Ah, I'm with you now. I'm with you. Okay, that was just me assuming, as I often do, that the cow meant something. But I knew your last name was Calabria because we're friends on Facebook. Floss was a drunk thing. I won't ask unless you want to share, but I have plenty of drunk stories. Plenty. My wife has one from this past weekend.
Oh my gosh.
My brother came over and brought these things called buzz balls.
And I don't drink liquor.
Yeah, she doesn't drink liquor. She drinks a little bit every night, but she drinks weak stuff like champagne mixed with orange juice. So she'll drink like spritzer type things. And he comes over with these things that are like 16% alcohol, and they're called buzz balls. And they're literally in the shape of balls, like this big around, and they have a little top cap on the top, and they look almost like coffee.
I mixed it with coffee, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, and she actually mixed it with coffee, and she got fucked up. I was like, whoa, no more for you, more for you. Because my wife is a person that she's a very social sort of drinker, so I never see her get inebriated at all. And when she does, it becomes really obvious. I'm like, okay, you're past the point of no return. So put down the buzz ball. Put down the buzz ball. At Cumberland Farms. Where's Cumberland Farms at? Where is Cumberland Farms? I bet I'm about to find out. Cumberland Farms. New York. Manorville, New York. Gas station, etc. Oh yeah, you seen the buzz balls at gas stations. I got you. So you live in New Hampshire. Oh, Cumberland Farms is a store. I got you. Was it? Believe it or not, it's an actual place too. It's a place in New York specifically. I just looked it up. Um, Yeah, my wife's from Connecticut, so all of her family's from up north. It's nice there, man. I've been to Maine. I've been as far north as Maine. Last year, I took my eldest son up to Boston, Massachusetts, and we watched the UFC up there. So that's about as far as I've been. 10 years sober from alcohol this June. That's amazing, bro. Yeah, I've had a lot of people, quite a lot of people. Um, you're an hour away from Boston. Yeah, that's a good drive, man. That's a good drive. I made it in about maybe 11 or 12 hours, something like that. No, there's a lot of people that I've seen on the channel and talked to on the channel that used kratom to help them get off of alcohol. Um, in most of their cases, they got off of alcohol onto kratom, and then they ended up just being on kratom. Then that's the problem there. I'm not saying it's that way for all people, but I had a specific. Trixie said I had a specific point with the water, but YouTube held my comments. Really? Why? Why did YouTube do that? I'm curious. Thank you, James, by the way, for the super chat, brother. You're the man with that. You are the man. James is my biggest supporter, dude. Uh, with this whole recently becoming monetized thing, you are the man, dude. I can't thank you enough for that. Is there? You can't say it in another way, Trixie? Big opiate problem too. Shit. You sure. Hey, bro, let me tell you something. I was that dude that would go to somebody's house and rummage through their medicine cabinet, hoping to score some opiates. Like, I was that guy. Now, I'm not proud to admit that, but I absolutely would do that. I mean, I'd hit up somebody's bathroom when I didn't even really have to use the bathroom, just so I could look around. Every once in a while I'd score something. Every once in a while I'd find like oh shit, damn bottle of freaking hydrocodone that's 7 years old. They obviously don't. If a person's not an addict and they get something like that, a lot of times they'll take a couple of them and be like, "Oh, I'm good," and then it'll just sit up in their cabinet for 6 years, and they just don't clean their cabinet out, right? Until somebody like me comes in and steals it. Yeah, I was that dude, man. I was that dude. It's a shame. It's a shame to talk about, to be honest. It's embarrassing to talk about, but I've gotten so used to talking about it on this channel that it's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. It is what it is. It's my past. That's one thing I will say, that I was glad Kratom gave me the opportunity to use something like that gave me that sort of feeling, but I didn't have to steal anything from anybody. I could just go to the store and get it. And I liked that part because I'm not a thief. I don't like taking something that doesn't belong to me. But it was one of those things where I was so hooked at the time that I would get dope sick. If I didn't have it, I got dope sick, man, and started going through some serious withdrawal. So I did what I had to do, whether it was buy them off the street or buy 2 pills for $10. I mean, I did what I had to do. Trixie said the point was, I have fresh water. Many have recycled. There are certain things that can't be filtered out of the water. Okay, I got you. I think that is why ambiguous is increasing. Oh, okay. Now I finally see where you're going with this. So you're saying that it could be something in the water, some sort of impurities or toxins in the water that are causing an uptick or a rise in people being born with, the ambiguous genitalia, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, it took me a few minutes, but it's kind of trying to read through the lines there. Dave Matthews, don't drink the water. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube doesn't want that on here. YouTube's funny that way. It's weird. I've had people before. I've actually had people to uh, accuse me of deleting their comments, and I was like, I didn't delete your comment, bro. Like YouTube may have deleted your comment, but I didn't delete anything. Where's your other comment? Dave Matthews one? Our lizard brain said, ooh, Kratom, let's do this. That one? Which one? On a CD, what the fuck? They know if you has to point. Trying to see which one. There's a bunch in here. Dave Matthews, don't drink the water. YouTube doesn't want that on there. My aunt recommends distilled for little kids and moms who are pregnant. Now, what is your blah blazed? Is that what you're saying? So Trixie, what is your aunt? What is? I mean, what is it about your aunt? Does she have some sort of? Does your aunt have some sort of specific knowledge on this sort of thing, or is your aunt like a professional somehow in this area, or what's the deal with your aunt? You said she recommends distilled for little kids. I get it though. So they're saying that it's in the water causing people to have these sexual ambiguity problems. And the only way I knew was I signed into my troll account and didn't see it. Oh, that's how you knew the comment got deleted. It's weird how YouTube's algorithm knows to delete certain comments with certain, like, I guess, keywords in it. It's pretty crazy how they know how to do that. You would drive to work. You saying blazed, James? You've got blah blah there. I think maybe you just had a typo. Because I've been there. No, he said. Drive to work. Oh. This number? Doing this number? Look up. Don't drink the water. You're going to have to spell it out for me, James. I don't see it. Look up where? I'm looking at all the other comments, bro. I don't see it. There's a lot of comments here. I'm glad you and Trixie came along, though. I thought nobody was going to get up on this thing. This thing's actually been kind of fun to talk about. Look up. Maybe they did. I think they did. They did delete it, bro, because I saw a comment by you earlier, and then all of a sudden it said deleted by it. That's what it is. So Trixie, don't feel bad. They actually deleted one of James's too. Figure out another way to say it, bro. You know, you gotta do it in code sometimes. Your aunt's not certified in anything, but she's 98 years old. Damn, that's amazing. Well, hell, I'd listen to her before I'd listen to anybody else. 98 years old, you know what the hell is going on. I would be driving to work on something while cutting something. Cutting on a CD. Not not. I got you now. Yeah. Use a license. You know what I like to call it, James? You know what I like to call it? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I like to call it? Yayo. That's what I like to call it. My wife hates when I talk about that. For some reason, she thinks that yayo, or or that is like this really horrible thing. I don't know why she thinks that. I've never really been huge into it, but I have done it probably a couple of handfuls of times. I've done it. And when I did, I had a really good time, man. Staying up the whole night, drinking just a little bit with it, not drinking a lot because I didn't want it to like take over the buzz, because the buzz is really fun. It's kind of an uppity, like you have, you know, you could be up all night on that shit, brother. But she thinks that it's she just thinks that, I don't know. I think it's the form of ingestion, like the way you take it in, that bothers her. I think it's the fact that you're actually going up the nose hole with it. I think that's the part, that just the stigma surrounding it. You go back to Scarface movie back in the day, where he's just got this big pile of cocaine. He's just, he comes up and his whole face is covered in white. I think it's that whole stigma that, well, probably the stigma too, that, people have just fallen over dead from it before. I mean, that's fair. I remember back in the day, a state basketball player. Remember that guy, Lynn Bias? Back in the day, that state basketball player, he was a young man. I mean, he couldn't have been over 19, 20 years old. Got into, doing some yayo at a party, and just, I mean, talking about a phenomenal athlete in amazing shape, just killed over dead. All right, James. Peace out, brother. Thanks for stopping through, man. Trixie, you still here, or am I by myself? I think I'm getting by myself. I'm about to go anyway. I need to eat some dinner and whatnot. But James, thanks for stopping through, bro. And appreciate the super chat again. You're the man. Are the man, dude. Trixie, you still here? You still here? Yes, no? I know you're still here. You're my wife. You live with me. I know you're still here. James had to bounce, so I'm not sure if anybody's still here. I mean, it shows 2 are still on there, but nobody said anything. James had to bounce.
Bye, James.
But look, James gave me a $5 super.
No. Hi, everyone.
That was pretty nice of him.
I apologize. I've been watching the baby.
You don't need to apologize. I'm about to bounce. I'm about to get up out of here. James, Trixie, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate you as well for stopping through for a few minutes. I'm about to get up out of here. This has been one big, long piece of randomness. Welcome to the inside of my brain, where randomness reigns supreme. Till next time, Trixie. See you later, chick. Thanks for stopping by again. I know you started coming by for the Liam Payne stuff, but it's pretty cool that you just kind of kept hanging out, even after the fact. We're cool people. We're good people over here. We're good people. All right, Trixie. We'll see you later, okay? Y'all have a good evening. All right, I'll see you.